Greetings, friends. This is Vincent Orange, and I'm here to share an inspirational moment with you. I oftentimes think how basic it is to tell someone about Jesus Christ and introduce them. But have you ever thought about how you would go about introducing someone to Jesus who honestly have never heard of him and have never known of him? Using a basic object, a household object like a spoon, could draw a parallel that would help us. Let's, in our imaginations, consider that we've never been introduced to a spoon. Never seen one, never heard of it, didn't know how it functioned, and what good it was. And someone walked up to you and introduced you and told you about what this spoon could do for you. How in times of need, you could use it to stir. You could use it to eat. And you began to break down all the basic characteristics of this spoon. And you said, I just need you to believe and understand that that is a spoon. And the next time you see that spoon, I want you to remember by recognition from our conversation, that's a spoon. Now, using that same parallel, imagine introducing someone to Jesus who never knew him or understood him. The same applies. I'd like to introduce you to someone who is God's only son. And God sent him to stand in the gap for a mistake that was made at the beginning of time. And when he made that mistake, he became the sacrifice. And then we're able to connect with God eternally. I just want to introduce you to Jesus. And every time you hear Jesus, and every time you think of him, I want you to recognize that that is God's son. It was his sacrifice. And he did us, humanity, a favor. And that's all I need you to know. You see, sometimes we go beyond the necessary steps to just simply introduce someone to Jesus. If they've never met him, if you can convince him that simply all they have to do is have the same belief in Jesus that you have in this spoon. You will never look at this spoon and say it's a fork. You'll never look at Jesus and say he's just another figment of our imagination. Use the basic approaches to reach people. Relatability is reliable in gaining credibility, especially when you're introducing to Jesus Christ. Think about ways to use the basic relatable tools just to introduce someone. Look for excuses and how you can introduce Jesus Christ to those who never knew him. And for those who have simply heard about him, those who have excerpts about his experiences and who he's supposed to be, but really never knew him. Practice introducing people to Jesus. How do you do that? Number one, you need to be sure that you believe who he is. How do you know if you believe it? Because you'll trust him in tough times. You'll trust him in happy times. You'll celebrate him even if you're going through troubling times. You'll never, never, never lose your satisfaction in knowing who he is. But you first had to be properly introduced to him. The proper introduction to Jesus goes like this. One day when heaven was filled with his praises, one day when sin was as dark as could be, Jesus came forth to be born of a virgin, and he dwelt amongst men. And our example is he. See, living, he loved us. Dying, he saved us. Buried, he carried our sins far away. Rising, he justified, freed us forever. The good news is Jesus is coming, and what a glorious day. Take the spoon test and introduce someone to Jesus. God bless you and have a great day.